Like a lot of places in Asia, Myanmar has a small gauge railroad. I guess it's cheaper to build a small gauge than a regular size, that's for sure. Here's a restaurant. And there's a lot of people waiting for a train. I'm definitely a train buff, so why did I not take a train in Myanmar? Here's the answer. Now here's the reality of a 10-day first-time discovery tour of Myanmar. You've got to see at least these 4 destinations: Yangon, Bagan, Mandalay, and Inle Lake, which on the map is marked as Hee-Ho, the nearest airport. That means you'll be spending 3 nights in Yangon, 2 nights in Bagan, 2 nights in Mandalay, 2 nights in Inle Lake. The 10th day will be spent flying from Inle Lake or Hee-Ho to Yangon and then wherever you are flying to. And the second part of the secret sauce is that you can only accomplish this if you fly from one destination to the other. You can't do land transportation and beat that 10-day deadline. And why am I doing this vlog without having been a passenger on a train? Because I'm a train buff. That's why, train buff. That's why during my trip I had to visit the railway station in Yangon and in Mandalay. You'll see that later. A map of the railway system in Myanmar. By far the most important stretch is from Yangon to Mandalay via the capital, Naypyidaw. 70% of Myanmar's economic activity takes place in this economic corridor. The quality of the railway infrastructure is generally poor. The tracks are in poor condition and mostly are not passable during the monsoon season. What I am about to tell you may not come as a surprise, the only surprise being the country that it came from. Hint, it was not China. And there it is, the cat is out of the bag. Japan funds Myanmar Rail Remake. Funding is provided by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency. The project is carried out under the framework of the Myanmar Railways using the latest Japanese rail technology, and the first phase is scheduled to be completed in 2023. The project, covering 4 years, will upgrade the entire 621 kilometers Yangon-Mandalay line, including bridges and landscaping by Japanese engineers. As part of the deal, Japan will bring in new railway equipment for the route and fully restore existing rolling stock and engines. The travel time between Yangon and Mandalay, of course, will be reduced by half. Right now, it takes about 20 hours. The new trains will be, well, how can I say, it'll be like a game changer. By the way, just to clarify, these Japanese trains will not be their famous Shinkansen, known for its blinding speed. It will be more like regional trains in Japan. Notwithstanding, there is concern in Myanmar about the safety of, trespassers on the tracks, as there are now. Talk about a juxtaposition of history, as Japan was also the, how shall I say it, the builder of the Railway of Death. In 1943, Japan's High Command decided to build a railway linking Thailand and Burma to supply its campaign against the Allies in Burma. It was built by a captive labor force of about 60,000 Allied prisoners of war and 200,000 Romusha, or Asian laborers. It earned the moniker Death Railway because over 100,000 laborers died during its 16 months construction from 1942 to 1943. Remember the movie Bridge over the River Kwai, which was part of this story. Speaking of railway bridges in Burma, although in a much more favorable context, up near Laisho, you'll see there is a drawing of the Gok Taik Viaduct, or bridge. If you are a railway buff in Burma, you got to cross that. As you can see from the map, it is up in the north, and it'll take quite a bit of time to get there. And once you've crossed it, well, there isn't much more. But to many railway buffs, it's worth the trip. I just didn't have the time. Mandalay Railway Station. Barbara's halfway there. I gotta get across here. Lots of traffic. So we're on our way. Sure enough, Mandalay Railway Station. And here are the cars. Pretty low key. Well, what do you think, Barbara?
Well, that'd be great, sitting there for 11 hours.
You wouldn't want to sit here for a long time, no, but this is
doesn't recline.
Ordinary class.
Does not recline.
Yeah, long train. Undoubtedly going to Yangon. And this is what the platform looks like. Not very busy right now. And here we are, a fancy wagon. The colors of Myanmar. An upper class sleeper. Yeah. Upper class sleeper. Oh my goodness.
There's a bed in there. There's a bed in there.
Wow, bed in there.
Flash on your...
No flash. My goodness. Yeah. Hi. Here's the schedule. Clear as mud. Like a lot of places in Asia, Myanmar has a small gauge railroad. Guess it's cheaper to build a small gauge than a regular size, that's for sure. Here's a restaurant. And there's a lot of people waiting for a train. No idea when the next train is. Another restaurant over there. And people waiting maybe for tomorrow's train. Hunkered down overnight. As I don't go that way. So that's my exploration of the Mandalay Railway Station. Not overly impressive, especially the lack of English. As promised, here is our short visit to the Yangon Railway Station. Obviously, it is the largest railway station in Myanmar and is a gateway to its 3,126 miles of railway, most of which are in poor condition. The station was built in 1877 by the British, but destroyed by the retreating British in 1943 from advancing Japanese troops. The current station was designed in traditional Burmese architectural style, making prominent use of indigenous tiered roofs called payatat. And there you have one of those payatat roofs. And the station was completed in 1954. That's the new station. Surprisingly, in December of 2007, the Yangon city government announced a master plan that would relocate Yangon Central Station to a satellite town 32 kilometers away. Does that make sense? I don't think so. Well, it's 2020 and it hasn't happened yet. Let's hope it won't. If you're planning to travel by train in Myanmar, well, good luck in trying to get a ticket, as you can see here. There's no English. It's confusing. To buy a ticket. So here's the ticket office. Not a word in English, Barbara says. Oh my gosh! So riding a train might be difficult. This is hopeless.
You have to have a t-shirt. You must
What's
wear.
that?
You must wear a t-shirt.
Why?
Well, that's the only word I can read on any of the signs. T-shirt.
You must wear a t-shirt.
Can't go without a t-shirt.
Isn't that amazing? Now, there are ways to avoid this chaos at the railway station, and I have a website here which has all kinds of information about traveling with the Myanmar's Railway. Have a look. Truly an old-fashioned railway station, like in the good old days. Let's have a look here. See, I'm not even sure I can walk in here, but until somebody says no. Ah, look, there's a train. That's what the trains look like here. Right there. Wow. As I go up the stairs to an overpass, I find what I was really looking for, and that's a railway phenomenon here in Yangon. But I did want to take that circuit around Yangon, see how the locals travel. You wonder why this sort of thing is not done more often, but here you have a railway going around the city. It's heavily used by lower income commuters. It's practically free. So it's a great way to observe local life on this train. But it's a 3-hour train ride, and you really can't do it if you only have 10 days in Myanmar, as we did. For the most part, it was, not in very good condition, as you can see here, but there's always a savior, and one more time, it's Japan. As a story in the Myanmar Times indicates, Japan is cooperating with Myanmar Rail to upgrade its roadbeds, railway tracks, engineering structure, and railway signals of the Yangon Circular Railroad. Included in the upgrade are 21 railway carriages, which formerly ran in Japan, and they were overhauled by Myanmar Railroad and refurbished to run on the Circular Railroad. If you visit Myanmar and have the time, do take this railway ride to get a feel of life in Yangon. There's a train there. Same train over here. For a railway buff like myself, it was difficult to see the train leave and not be on it. Hey, that's life. Disappointing, no engine at the back. That concludes what I know about the Myanmar Railway. There's much more, but that's what I know. Well, you're still here, so thank you for viewing, and a thumbs up would be appreciated. See you next Friday as we move on to our last destination in Myanmar, Inle Lake, for something entirely different.